All right, y'all. Welcome. We're here inside the garage. I just turned the fan off so that I can quickly go over with y'all what we're about to do here. So here is what they call a T-harness, and for my Tacoma, for the 3rd gen Tacoma without the JBL, from Red Wolf. This is the package that this T-harness comes in. Alright, so I had my son come out and help me, and we did a continuity test on this plug. This is a 10 plug. If you're sitting in the truck with the radio folded down, it's the plug all the way to the right side. All right, so it's all the way on the passenger side. 4 of the wires, the 4 wires on the left side are thicker gauge, and that's because they're the front wires, and the front wires put out a lot more wattage than the rear wires. The rear wires are all tiny. They're about yay size, about this size here, which is probably like, hold on for 1 second, which is probably like a, all right, sorry about that. They're all about this size. It's probably like a, I don't know, 18 gauge or something. It's pretty tiny. So with that being said, here is a roll of 20 foot of a 9 pin or 9 individual strands of wire, and they're all 18 gauge also, which is pretty small, about this size once again. I wouldn't recommend, I mean, I'm sure you can probably really push, but me, I'm going to be pushing about 120 watts or more through these speakers. So a spool of wire was like 25 bucks. This 20 feet of this, I think, was somewhere around 20 bucks, 25 bucks. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to strip back the same distance of lead we have here. All right, and how I like to do it, I'm actually going to go a tick further. Let me get this unraveled. So there, I'm going to come about here. I'm just going to take my my wire, or my razor blade, and I'm just gonna come and cut right down, and like you can kind of feel that you're not really deep in there. You can tell if you hit a wire or feel like you're slicing into another wire, and this is just how I do it. The electricians at work, I kind of see them doing this too, so I think it's right. I mean, I've been doing it this way for years, so for me, it's right. I know, just because you've been doing it for years, wrong don't mean it's right. You're right. No argument there, boss. But so take that. We got all of the wire strands out of there. The 2 greens, the 2 grays, the 2 whites, the 2 purples, and then this blue is going to be used for our for the remote wire. Okay, so real quick, the 2 greens, that's the left rear. The 2 grays is the right front. The 2 whites are the left front, and the 2 purples are the right rear. And then once again, blue for that. So let me go on ahead and just, I know I got all that wire out of there, so now I'm just gonna come here and I'm just gonna cut the sheathing right down here. So now that sheathing is all exposed, and this stuff can go down here, and so we get cleaned up. Now, like I said, I went through this harness. I pinned this harness out. Well, sorry, I pinned out the harness on the truck, and everything was copacetic with it. So this is it, and I am gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of stagger these four, minus the blue. The blue is just gonna kind of hang off to the side for now, but I'm gonna stagger the four back, and we are gonna put heat shrink on everything, and we're actually gonna solder everything. So without further ado, I'm gonna put my headphones in, turn that fan on because it's pretty toasty in here, and we're gonna get the solder in this together so we have a nice clean harness to get lined up in a truck, so that I can kind of put all of that back together, just so I can take some of it back apart again. But let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so I'm just trying out this voiceover stuff here. So what I'm doing here is I got this harness, and I'm discarding the end that I don't need, because I'm only going to use one end that I'm going to plug into the harness. All right, so just kind of separating the wires here off and trying to establish a game plan here. Now, that box that I'm opening up there, that's just a box that I picked up from Amazon. I will try to link this down. Actually, I will link everything down in the description, but that is just a random set of heat shrinks. All right, they're fairly cheap, so they're great to have around. I wish I had rolls of heat shrink. For some reason I didn't. It might have been at my other shop. But anyway, here I'm going to show you guys. So here I kind of made a little mistake. We're going to see that I go back and I have to cut this out. But soldering's the best way to go. I advise you to figure it out, look it up on YouTube, because it really gives you a nice, good, clean connection. And it truly just is the way to go. So as you can see here, I think earlier I talked about making this harness where I was going to stagger all of those cuts, and I'll point them out later, but you see I didn't start my stagger so I had to chop it off. But I left that in there just to show you guys that you know, you will have to work backwards sometimes, and the more you do things like this, the more you'll kind of avoid those situations, or you'll learn not to make those deals. But anyway, I just cut that back, and now I'm lining up to do my first solder joint there. Now you see how I twisted those together. I know I did speed this up because I'm trying to make these videos shorter for you guys so that they're not like super long, but I hope you could see what I did there. And now we're just going back to solder this. So if you want to watch anything that's sped up, I typically speed my videos up to about 250%. So if you slow it down 200%, that'd be somewhat close about real time. I'm just marking that, so if you can see the purple wires, you can see that I'm just ticked back so that all my joints aren't lined up in a row. Now the little helper hands that I got there, that's just a cheap one from Harbor Freight. And then you can see I put some heat shrink over top just to kind of set the wires in there. I have to find a better solution than that. The base isn't heavy enough for one, so it doesn't move around, but it does work. Wire is clearly going to be used with a line tap onto the harness. It's the only tap that I had to do in the truck so far. There will be one more section I'm going to try to get to you guys, and that has to do with the speed sense it turns the volume up and down on the factory head unit. I don't like that. So anyway, you see the remote wire sticking out to the side, and I got all my bits and pieces of heat shrinked up, and now that's it for the harness. The harness is complete. All right, it's clean. It's just a little unorthodox. All right, so what we had soldered up all of the connections, heat shrink, and then because I didn't have a roller heat shrink, which I usually do, I had to use a bunch of pieces, which is fine. Just wanted to heat shrink it instead of taping it. So this harness will be plugged into the back of the radio, and then this will get plugged into the LCI. So what I want to do here real quick before I end my night is I just want to cut this open real quick. And I tried to take the old lady's hair dryer. That didn't work. I ultimately just wound up having to use a lighter. But let's go ahead and just open this up a tad. Take a little bit off there and pull these out. And we're just gonna peel some of these back real quick. Okay, so I just quickly peeled back some wire here, and what I want to do is just go down the line and just make sure that I only have continuity to what I want and not anything else. So let's go ahead and clip on here, and then we're gonna go for gray. And let me get my glasses again because I'm an old man. We got gray and gray. We're gonna go gray. Let's go gray positive. Clip, and then just a quick check. Okay, and then so we went gray positive. So we're gonna go gray positive, and then check every other one. Make sure there's nothing else ringing as I slide through, and there's nothing in that last set. So gray negative. Great, negative right there. All right. Yep. Alrighty. And then the last one, the blue one, is just an extra. All right. So we have everything lined up. All right. I'm happy with that. Now, so I can go to bed. I'll need to just run this behind the radio and pull all of that to the backside. So tomorrow I can bolt my seats in and we can do our family little trip. I'm not really going to show me slinging this down because it's late, and I kind of need to just get it done and get to bed. So sorry y'all, but I'll show you what I did in the morning, or I'll show you the next video, or whenever you'll see what's happening. Peace.